I have always said that in order to understand a thing, you have to follow the money. So, first, I'm going to start by introducing the players in this game that they call the Seventh Circuit Family Court in Clay County, Missouri, or Liberty, Missouri to be exact. But first, let me talk to you exactly about what family court is, more specifically, how family court is illegal in and of itself. Family court is a business, it's a straight up political operation. It is not governmental at all. There is nothing sanctioning family court in the Constitution, in the U.S. Constitution. It is made up, and it is made up simply for the benefit of politicians, the judges, the attorneys, the guardian ad litems, the vendors, and everyone else that they use to fund it. So let me explain. One thing about this operation that I have found, especially with these people, is that they create a problem, and then in order to make themselves look good, they make themselves a solution for the problem. And if you do not understand this about them and about the family court system, then you are going to be screwed. The first thing that they are going to try to do in order to manipulate the system and to course correct is to first try and discredit you, which is what they're trying to do to me now. They are making up all kinds of lies, and they are finding people to make up lies about me. And I have to say, the only thing that is concerning to me are the threats on my life and the fact that they are stalking my children. Other than that, that gene that people have that makes them give a damn about what people think about them, yeah, my parents didn't give me that. So I do not care if anyone within the family court circuit don't like me. I don't care if any of these legislators don't like me. I do not care if any of these judges don't like me. I am not here to be liked. And that is the problem. Your hubris and this grandiose nature that these titles give these people make them believe that everyone else is beneath them. And understand that this is not about being disrespectful to anyone, because of course, if you walk into a court of law, you are supposed to be respectful to the judge, you're supposed to be respectful to everybody that's in there. And I was. What you're getting from me now is a result of them not only holding me and my child hostage, but then me later on going through the proper channels, still going through the proper channels of trying to correct all of this, just to find out that I have been being played and lied to the entire time, and that it is the judicial system in Missouri and some in Kansas who are the criminals. They are the ones who have been creating fake paperwork. They are the ones who have broken the law at every single turn. And like I said, throughout the series of videos, I'm going to prove everything that I'm saying. The governor, the state legislators, the family court administrators, it even includes therapists, these custody evaluators, all of these people, they derive their livings and they persevere their positions and funding strictly through family court. To earn more income, of course, they exasperate problems by saying, oh, this parent is unstable. They need a psychological evaluation. So they are only going to refer you to a particular psychologist or a particular therapist. I'm going to also pull court documents where the guardian ad litem, in my case, whom I never met before and who never met my child, where he was cited by the Western District Court of Appeals for not only providing false testimony, but also putting a therapist on the stand who is still in practice right now, but put this therapist on the stand to lie. We'll get to him later. So that is what I mean by the vendors. Also, the courts also have their own particular guardian ad litems that they use. And I am also going to show you in my court transcripts where this incompetent piece of trash, Robert Gordon, was, or rather how my little girl's father picked him out specifically, because they have been in cahoots for a very, very long time. The family courts operate primarily to support the financial and political self-interest of those who support and are supported by the family court system. In a nutshell, it can be considered primarily a local, county-based business with some statewide political interest, if you will. The business that is family court will be in conflict with what is in the best interest of the child and in the family at all times. They will at all times be at odds with one of the parents. It does not matter. That is how they operate. That is how they stay in business. If nothing is wrong, then they can't be the solution, which means that they don't have a job. They take the word family out of family court and substitute it with a commodity. It is just like being on the slave block again. You get auctioned off to the highest bidder. You get auctioned off to whatever guardian ad litem that they can bring in to build the most money, to bring in the most funding. You're going to get auctioned off to the biggest therapist that can bring in the biggest money, to always say that something is wrong, to keep you going in and out of their office for more money. I'm also going to get to the part where I show you how these courts are also reimbursed through the federal government. We'll get to that too. They create this adversarial system. They created this adversarial system, and it is in contravention to everything that must form the genesis of a family. It does nothing to salvage the family. It does nothing but cause strife and division, even in times where there was none. There is no effort made to return these families to peace. Friendly division is inimical, and the propitious needs of the vendors is always their top priority. Excuse me, I have been talking all day. They live and thrive off the conflict of families. The thing is with family court is, because people are not involved in the decision making for the resolution, because there is no jury, these judges and these family court commissioners have unlimited discretion. Discretion is just another word for I can do whatever the hell I want to, unchecked. Because these judges and commissioners are the so-called professional governing class and were often the vendors, they were before the attorneys and the guardian ad litems and the prosecutors and or the public defenders themselves. In the family court system themselves, or family court Inc. as I call it, their little racketeering organization that they have going on in Liberty. You know, before the governor elected them or nominated them to the position, and then a legislator sometimes approved them, their position in the business is like, or if you think about a business, it was just pretty much like upper management. And you just keep getting promoted through the ranks. And that is how all of this works. But when it comes to all of this being unconstitutional, all of this is done without a jury. You are tried and convicted. And it's not like you are sent off to prison, which you might as well be in one. Because anyone who is a parent and who has ever lost a child and has no connection with that child, it is like being in a prison. So without a jury, which could be likened to a regulatory body, and the only checks and balances to regulate or to monitor the professional or adversarial and proliferating class that these people are, because trust me, it is a class system. This family court business, or Racketeering Inc., has removed any unpredictability as to the results, which means you can walk in there expecting one thing and come out expecting something else, which is exactly what happened to me. Everyone in the decision process is paid, and conflict produces more money. Conflict to them is more economical than harmony and peace in the family. Again, as long as there's a problem, they can profit off the solution, which there is none. Not when it comes to them. It's a really good business. It really is for them. So once you learn that, you will understand how family court works. You will understand how and why they do not record the sessions for the public. It's not about the kids. It's not about concealing identities for the sake of the children. It is because these judges get to say and do what they like, and if there is no record of it. And then also in my case, they can get their court reporters, their clerks, and their transcriptionists to doctor the transcripts, which is why you have to find a way to record it on your own, which is what I did. We'll get to that as well in another video. So, the next point that I'm going to get to, as you look and I introduce these God-forsaken people to you, you can look and read as we talk about one particular vendor in this case. You see right now, this is the family court commissioner. Her name is Cheryl Paige Roberts. She was the commissioner in my case who heard the trial. Did not have jurisdiction. Keep that word in your head. Still does not have jurisdiction. She sat on the board of this nonprofit called Connections to Success. And let me pause right here. This is not an attack on Connections to Success. Connections to Success does great things within the community. And I do honestly believe that their intended purpose is to continue to do great things in the community. But just like all things, you can have bad apples that can spoil the whole bunch. And in this case, you have these people who have taken advantage of a program, and again, marginalized population, and used it for their own benefit. I will get into more detail about that later. As you can see, Cheryl Roberts not only promotes Connections to Success, she also sat on the board of directors for Connections to Success. The family court commissioner really has no ruling power. She can give her findings and recommendations, but she can hear your trial. I still don't understand how that's constitutional, but either way. This next shady character is the judge. the dishonorable Alicia Diane O'Hara, again, operating without jurisdiction. This is the one who has filed the false harassment charges against me, and is still usurping jurisdiction from the state of Kansas because, again, my daughter and I don't live in Missouri. We did not live in Missouri. And I have preserved her residency in Kansas. We're going to get to that as well. But as you can see, she was also in and a part of the child support program. She wrote some of the policies for it. And if you read some of her little accolades down there, she brought Connections to Success to the parenting court program, which she started. Okay. Here is my daughter's father. He went through Connections to Success. He is still a part of Connections to Success. Again, a great program. The thing about this, Connections to Success is related to the parenting court program in that to participate in the parenting court program, it is not a program that you think that you just walk into to become a better parent. No, it is a consequence of you not complying with child support orders. So I believe that my daughter's father went through this program twice, and the incentive of going through Connections to Success, which is strictly voluntary. So of course, if it's voluntary, meaning you don't have to participate, they give you an incentive to participate. If you go through this program, the incentive is that you're going to get your child no matter what. And I'm going to explain to you how. They also pay you to participate in this program. I will let you guys pause and copy and paste. All of this information is available online. It is public. It is on Facebook. It is on the 7th Circuit Court page. You will find it if you Google any of their names. All of this information is there. So you will also see where Connections to Success and this other program, Determination Inc., I think it is, that is connected to Connections to Success, also provides incentives, financial incentives, where they fund formerly incarcerated people's business. Like I said, it is an awesome program if used for its intended purpose. My daughter's father was paid, I can't remember if it's $1,000 or $1,500, on November 22nd, 2022. I had trial November 29th, 2022. So let's make this all make sense. The day of trial, you have a family court commissioner who sat on the board of a company that funds the company that my daughter's father owns, a little lawn company. And the judge who is over the family court brought this Connections to Success program to the family court system. And if you go back and you read in her accolades, these types of things stand out because, and they stand out to the point where they got the attention of Governor Parsons. And if Governor Parsons is thinking that they are doing all of these wonderful things, if these child support district attorneys or these child support attorneys there in the basement, they are doing all of this wonderful work, and it's time for a judge vacancy to be filled, of course we're going to pick her. Not knowing, or maybe he does know, I don't know. But not knowing, we'll assume that it's all a lie. because it is strictly incentivized. Because what happens is, this is a conflict of interest. She knew, both of them knew there was a conflict of interest which goes strictly against the canons of judicial conduct, that they should have recused themselves from this case. When I brought it up in motion, even on the first day when I brought up jurisdiction, it should have been dealt with and they should have been gone. And this should have been over. We'll get to that later. Because they should be in jail. So please call and share this with the Department of Justice. But getting back to this, the conflict of interest means that they should have stepped down. There are motions sitting in front of them, also sitting in front of the presiding judge, Timothy Fluke, who is also a liar and has been complicit in their scheme. We're talking RICO with these people, who doctored up and made me some fake paperwork. When I tell you that these people tried to play me, you all just wait, because it gets better. So we have the conflict of interest. We have the fraud going on, the fraud on the court. And we have these open cases, open motions that haven't been ruled on, which was done on purpose. Because if cases or motions are not ruled on, then you cannot appeal, which means that you stay in the circuit where you are, which means that the Seventh Circuit will always have control over this case, which they don't have jurisdiction over. We're going to get to the bogus paperwork that they gave me and that they gave to the Supreme Court, and how they use the past judge that was appointed to the case to come up with every kind of excuse to not set a court date, and how they're using the current judge who was appointed to the case from another circuit, Judge Darren Atkins out of the 43rd Circuit in Daviess County, and how he is complicit in this fraud and in this RICO scheme as well, and has not given me a court date. We're going to get to that as well, with plenty of receipts. Mind you, these people do not have jurisdiction. So we have them usurping jurisdiction. We have them blocking my access to the courts, which is a violation of my constitutional and due process rights. We have them kidnapping my child, which is against the Parental Kidnapping and Prevention Act. All of these are federal charges. It only takes 3 for a RICO charge. We have the threats on my life. And I have reported it. We have the police report, and we have the restraining order that I filed against this woman. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll get to all of that later, because this video is already getting way too long. But I just wanted to give you a little piece of how money and how title can incentivize low-life people to use children just to line their pockets and to make themselves look good in the public eye. They should not only be barred from the legal system and definitely put on some child abuse registration list and kept from ruling or making any kind of decision in any child's life. But these people, they need to be in prison. This is ridiculous, because even as we speak right now, knowing that they are completely wrong, and I have not even gotten to the meat and potatoes of it all, they still still continue to usurp jurisdiction and sit and lie in the Seventh Circuit as though they have not done anything wrong. They keep trying to block me out of the courtroom because they are trying to keep me silent. And that is the only reason why I'm making this video. Because if I am wrong, then why have I not had a court date? Why have I not have a court date for you to say you are wrong? If you found something wrong with me or even the way I parent, which there is nothing, you all shouldn't even have custody of your own children. I'll get to that in a second. But isn't the point of, or if truly the point of the family court system was for correction or for the best interest of the child, wouldn't it be to pour all kinds of resources into that parent and into that family for the betterment and for the sake of that child? But of course, that would mean that you would have to bring me into court and you would have to address the wrong that you have done. You are some very wicked, wicked people. And you are some very wicked, wicked people. And I fault the ones who sit back and who are watching this happen. I fault you more because you know better. And the more I dig and the more I find out, I'm going after your law license and your political standing as well.